Memorial Park, Jasper, Alabama, and the convoy is coming in. This is the Military Vehicle Preservation Association. I'm waiting for Sybil Keaton. John Keaton is in their historic vehicle over there. Sybil, what time will they do in? About 3:30. All right. Okay. David Keaton and his friend Tammy, right here. We're waiting for those military vehicles. Do you know anything about the vehicles they had?
I just
World War I?
They're supposed to be old Jeeps that's been restored, and just all military vehicles that's restorable.
Well, if they're going all the way to California, they've got to be running, David.
They got to be in good shape, don't they?
Yeah. John, you had two brothers in World War II, didn't you?
Well, L.M. was in the Navy the longest. We was in the Army after the war. Joined in 1945.
45. Okay.
Yeah. I've seen a big parade, the biggest I've never seen in my life in San Antonio.
Right. We're going to stay on this 78 highway to San Diego. I am here with Peter Yates. We're going to find out more about Peter and his vehicle, but you are from New Zealand.
That's correct, yes, from Auckland, New Zealand, yes.
Well, we're so proud to have you in Jasper, Alabama. Now, this is not your first convoy, you said.
Yes, that's correct, yes. We did in this truck and trailer, we did the Alaska Highway.
This is expensive. And now, did you have a military career too, Peter?
No, my father did that for me.
Hey, now, was this built in New Zealand?
No, this was American built. It's a 1953 Dodge M37. They call them a 3/4 ton. And it's a really nice truck, yeah. It hasn't missed a beat.
That is great. When did you leave home? Now, did you have to ship this over?
No, it was in Ohio. So we flew from Auckland to LA to Cleveland, and we left 10th of September. So, and I won't get home till 23rd of October. So,
okay. But now, did you go to Washington, D.C. to connect with people or join them somewhere else?
No, we drove down from Ohio down to Washington. We started on the 19th of September was first gear here. And we drove them south from there, and we've been doing around 100 to 160 miles a day. So it's been interesting.
I know it has. And we're so happy to have you in Jasper, Alabama. Judge Stanley Wade right here. You are a bad one. I didn't realize that, Judge Wade.
Well, I was in about 3.5 years. I'd probably mess up more than I'd straighten out.
I don't believe that for a minute. What branch?
Support personnel.
Absolutely. What branch were you in?
Air Force. They called it Air Corps, but it was U.S. Air Force.
Army Air Corps then.
I went through, I did go through gunnery school and completed that, and they told us, our group, that we'd be flying missions in a few weeks, but...
what years were you in, Stanley?
Let's see, I enlisted, I volunteered, May 42 to January 46.
You were in the heat of it. You were.
Well, you know, I did what I was told to do.
Absolutely.
I was, you know, qualified to go.
You were trained to go.
You know, we had a lot of men that sacrificed,
Everything did not come back.
and our freedoms were very costly. And we need to stop and take a few moments to appreciate what all of our veterans, for all the different services and the different times that they have served. I certainly appreciate them very
Yes. Up until today, and we have so many in harm's way now.
Yeah, that's right. And I appreciate what you all are doing.
Well, thank you, Stanley.
Great interview, but
Yeah, everybody can't get out here, so we want to take some video. We're so glad we caught up with you. This is wonderful. Is your sweetie here?
yeah, she's down here somewhere. Let's see. Oh, this is Jan Hanley.
Jan Handel.
Hey, good to meet you. Where's Louise, Jan?
I can go get her.
Well, we're parked right down there somewhere. Yeah.
Stanley Wade, thank you so much. Okay.
We've been married 72 years.
This remarkable couple, Stanley and Louise Wade, are celebrating 75 years of marriage. A party is being planned June 2018. Watch the local paper for the announcement.
Remember, in May of 42, Ralph Shera and me, we decided we'd volunteer for the military service. And we went to Fort McClellan, was enlisted there.
Fort McClellan.
Fort McClellan, then to Fort McPherson.
That's over in Georgia.
Yeah, that's in Georgia. Yeah, we went to
Fort McPherson.
yeah, and we went to Biloxi, or Basic.
Oh.
They separated us,
Oh.
and they sent him to Chanute Field, Illinois, and they sent me to Scottsville, and
Biloxi, Mississippi was basic.
yeah, for basic training,
Uh-huh.
in the good old hot summertime. But I was young and
Yes.
had grown up on the farm, so you know it didn't bother me too much.
That must have been hard.
Well,
Yeah.
let me skip. Many years later, I was in reserve, and we went to Fort Bragg, and in the good old hot summertime for summer camp.
Okay.
The barracks was not air conditioned.
Yeah.
Yeah, but anyway. But back to being at Biloxi. They shipped him out ahead of me, but they had already separated us. And so, as I say, he went to Chanute Field, Illinois, and I went to Scottsville. And I didn't see him again until after the war was over.
I'll be.
They shipped him to England, and I'm just an enlisted man. I'm a just one of those guys
Yes,
You know.
but important.
wearing a uniform. Yeah,
Okay.
doing what they said though.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So anyway,
And you spent the rest of the military at,
well, after Scott Field, I was shipped to Kendall Field, Florida, and went through aerial gunner school. Graduated. Was fortunate to graduate, I guess you'd say. Got my wings anyway.
Okay. Yeah, you were in the Army Air Corps.
I graduated as an aerial gunner.
Okay.
We had training on the B-24s. Guess where my position was? The nose of the airplane. They said that we more than likely were only a few weeks from flying missions. So, but the war began to scale down. So I was shipped back to Fort McPherson.
Okay. That was a good thing.
It was up to the military to...
Now, Ralph, did you say that was Louise's brother?
Yes. Yeah. She had two brothers, an older brother, then an older sister, then she's the third child out of four. Ralph was the baby of that family. Yeah.
So you were acquainted with him, of course, and got better acquainted.
With him before Louise. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. We were friends before Louise got in the picture.
All right.
She smiled at me, and I thought, well, maybe there's a chance. So anyway.
And you were smitten right away, weren't you?
Smitten, yeah. Pretty much, yeah.
Oh, well, it turned out so good, Stanley.
Yeah.
I know you've both been very happy.
We have been blessed, Margaret. Yeah.
So much so.
Yeah.
Have you always lived in Jasper?
Born in Sipsey and went through the 9th grade there, and then from there on, I've been in Jasper, other than the military service. Yeah.
long, successful life. And
well, you know, this county's been good to me.
Making their way into Memorial Park for an overnight stay in Jasper, Alabama. The 50-vehicle convoy is going to overnight here. This is the Military Vehicle Preservation Association. All these old historical military vehicles have been restored. They are doing an across-the-country convoy from Washington, D.C. to San Diego, California. So these old vehicles are making their way across the country.
Let others seek a home below. I feel like traveling on. With flames devour all waves overflow. I feel like traveling on. Yes, I feel like traveling on. I feel like traveling on. My heavenly home is bright and fair. I feel like traveling on. I feel like traveling on. I feel like traveling on.
Okay, this 1941 Packard Model 160 four-door touring sedan. Early in World War II, expensive vehicles such as the Buick, Cadillac, and Packard were used as staff cars since they were readily available. They were used for carrying high-ranking officers, messengers, and also performing administrative functions. Towards the middle of the war, Chevys, Fords, and Plymouths were also used. General MacArthur had several staff cars. General George S. Patton Jr. used a 38 Cadillac in Europe when he was involved in an accident, ultimately resulting in his death in 1945. General Dwight Eisenhower used a Packard Clipper for a staff car. Early in the war, the U.S. Navy bought cars from local dealerships. They purchased 41 and 42 models of whatever the dealers had in stock at the time. They did not paint the cars, but instead used them in the original color. Navy markings and stars were added to the cars to be used as staff cars. This car represents a Navy staff car that would have been used in World War II.
I wanted to have a car that was a staff car that historically correct for World War II. I'm a Navy veteran, so I did my research. There's not a lot of information available on staff cars, Army or Navy, World War II. And so this is fixed up as close as we can tell to a staff car what they would have been like in the beginning of World War II.
Oh my gosh, Roger, this is a honey, isn't it? Let's walk over it. Let's go a little bit further to the front and get that full view.
I drove it from Iowa to Washington, D.C. I've driven it about 2,600 miles since we left. And a couple little glitches, but it's been running pretty good. Yeah, it's a 1941 Packard, model 160.
Oh, they said these were just deluxe cars in the day, right?
And it does have factory air, and it does work.
We noticed that sign, couldn't believe it.
And in 1940, 41, and 42, you could buy a Packard, Cadillac, Oldsmobile, or Buick, and for $275, you could get factory air conditioning. It's in the trunk. It did not have a clutch on the compressor, so you would put the belt on in the spring, and you take the belt off in the fall. And they didn't sell a lot of them, but this car would have listed about $1,800 new, plus the $275 for the air conditioning, and $500 to $600 you could buy a Chevy or Ford.
Oh my God! So it was 4 times as much, wasn't it?
Just about, yes.
Oh, it is a beauty. I know you're as proud as you can be. See that big smile?
Yeah, I'm happy with it. It hasn't broken down major yet, so, but you own a 74-year-old car, you never know. It's part of the adventure.
Did you make the other 2 convoy trips?
I went from Cedar Rapids, Iowa to San Francisco in 09, and with a 42 Dodge Command car. And so, but I didn't go on an Alaska trip. That was too far.
Too far. I forgot to ask you what year you acquired this.
About 2.5 years ago.
My. Did you have to restore it?
No, the individual I bought it from had spent quite a bit of money on it. He rebuilt the motor, put a stainless steel fuel tank in it, had done a lot of work on it. It had been restored in the 70s, the body, so I had it repainted last winter. And then I've had other minor miscellaneous things I've had to do to it, but it was in pretty good shape when I bought it.
Oh, Roger, it's just shining. It is beautiful.
Thank you.
Now, what city in Iowa?
I'm from Jessup, Iowa, near Waterloo. And I'm cruising.
Judy Swan. This is a 41 Packard. You're going to have to get a picture of the back.
Now, this is a blown-up picture.
Yeah.
What kind of candy?
Yes.
It was Baby Ruth.
Oh,
So,
Judy.
so I don't know.
And that's your daddy, your famous daddy. Jane has the
Original.
original. So we could get that from Jane.
Captain A.J. McDaniel.
The famous Alabama football player. How many children did A.J. have again?
4.
Okay, 2 girls.
I know. The oldest, Judy, married Lee Swan. Jane McDaniel McLeod, the second. A.J. McDaniel the third, and John Ed McDaniel, who lives in Panama City now. A.J.'s in Dallas, and Jane and I are Jasper.
Okay.
Well, you're with the Bankhead Highway Company.
Well,
that's this.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, for this event.
Yeah.
So when did you start with?
We just looked up in, we left Tanny Hill today. Yes, ma'am.
If you
Yes,
could
ma'am.
come over. Oh, you're Alabama boys.
Yes, I live in Adamsville. We're riding with them from Tannehill to Hamilton, and we'll drop out. The whole convoy's going on to San Diego. Yeah. Okay.
I'm from Helena. So Russell Parker. I'm from Helena.
I'm Terry Hallman. I'm from Adamsville.
All right. And so I didn't know you could do this, but you were able just to join this convoy for a short period.
Yes, ma'am. As members of the MVPA, the Military Vehicle Preservation Association, we can, hook up with them, run for a while. They'd love for us to go the entire distance, but we can't.
Well, those that have the time could go all the way to San Diego with them, right?
A bunch of them are. They are, yes, ma'am.
Surely could. Yeah, and you can go just however far you want to go, and MVPA, that's like the worldwide military vehicle preservation. But we have a local club, the Dixie Division, and it's just mostly Alabama, Georgia, and Mississippi, and Florida.
And so you have a unit right here in Walker County, or?
In the state of Alabama.
In the state of Alabama.
Yes, ma'am. Statewide.
And a bunch of us have got military vehicles. I mean, he's got like a 52 Deuce and a half, and I got a 41 Jeep. You know,
Right, that
I was in the Navy back in the late 70s, early 80s, and yeah, and it's just like a family. We're keeping this is like keeping history alive here. A lot of these vehicles are pretty unique, and
they are. It's wonderful to see them.
Bring them around to events like this, and people can get in them, and just kids will never forget that. Get inside them, and they'll remember that a lot longer than in a museum. You know.
Absolutely. You're right. There's nothing like hands-on.
Right. And it's basically it's a car club, just different vehicles.
Specialized car club.
It is. Yeah, and if anybody had a military vehicle, anybody could join our club. It's open to anybody. And
for the Alabama unit, what is the info to give people?
With the national is the www.ddmvpa.org.
That's the Alabama chapter.
It's the Alabama chapter. And our local one is Dixie Division.
DDMVPA.org.
We'll take that card and make sure that it gets on the screen.
We need to get on it, because this is all history, and it's our country. I mean,
yes, it is.
And we've got a good country. We need to keep it that way.
We would like to keep our country. That's true.
Sure.
It's frightening today, but these military vehicles, I didn't know until the paper that they go from World War I to the current time.
We have certain members have older stuff. Nothing that old is here now, but we do have plenty of World War II Jeeps. That's a 41 Packard. And
love that staff car. That's sharp.
It is sweet. Yes, ma'am.
But here's a card right here, and with our information on it.
Okay, Terry, you need to remember that. Just buy yourself a World War II Jeep, and you can join the club.
Yes.
You don't even have to have a vehicle. Just if you enjoy this stuff,
If you don't have a vehicle, somebody will know where one is.
Thank you, boys, so much. Thank you.
Sure thing.
After talking to a couple of members of the Military Vehicle Preservation Association, we find that this is the third cross-country convoy they've conducted. One went through Alaska. The first one was across on the Lincoln Highway, and now this third one this year is going all the way to San Diego on the Bankhead Highway through the southern route, coming right through Jasper, Alabama. We got the music going on this one. That's really adds to it.
John Varner from Minnesota.
Oh, yeah. We want your co-driver's name, too. Introduce yourself.
Hi, my name is Don Gunderson. I'm from Lindstrom, Minnesota.
Gotcha.
When did you acquire this vehicle?
I bought this 15 years ago in Great Britain.
Okay.
I shipped it home. She was a World War II veteran overseas, and I brought her back. Yeah, we've had a lot of fun with this vehicle. It's one of about probably 400 left in the world of this make. This was used for general officers, colonels and above. It was called a command car because it should have radios in the back seat. I'm a U.S. Army veteran, 1975 to 1979.
Oh, thank you for your service.
Well, thank you. Thank you.
And so your wife said you could have this little toy.
And I also have 3 World War II Jeeps in the pole barn, but that's about enough. She says, you can't buy another one until you sell 2. That's right. I'll be broke after this. My wife is cutting off my allowance, but, I call her the comptroller because if she hadn't taken over the finances 20 years ago, we'd be living under a bridge right now. But we'd be...
Glad you give her credit.
I speak the truth, and I call her the comptroller to her face.
Absolutely. You're lucky to have her. It is really unique, isn't it? It does look well, it's bigger. It's bigger than a...
Some people call it a Jeep. but it's not a Jeep.
It's not.
It's a Jeep on steroids, is what we say. But whatever.
It is a great find. Now, did you go to D.C. to start with them?
We hauled this down to Washington, D.C. from Minnesota on a gooseneck trailer and unloaded it, and we've driven, 1,000 miles so far.
What a grand time. Did your wife come with you?
No, she's still working.
Oh, okay.
Somebody has to pay for the convoy. She's a teacher. So.
Hey, well, we're sorry she missed it, but she can see this.
That's right, and I wanted her to come. So.
You did.
She wouldn't quit, though.
Well, but you know what? It might not be very comfortable in the passenger seat. What do you think?
It's pretty good.
Here at the second overnight stay of that convoy that's stopping over in Jasper, Alabama, is State Senator Greg Reed. Greg, is this not wonderful?
It's fantastic. We've had a great time welcoming these folks to Jasper. They've got 50-some-odd vehicles, as you all are seeing, from all different eras in military service. And there are folks that are here from Alabama, as well as far away from California, and then other countries. I heard that there was someone here from New Zealand. So it's a wonderful thing to host them here in Jasper and Walker County, and they're going to be leaving out in the morning, heading on toward Texas, and then moving on toward San Diego, California. So it's a wonderful thing. We're glad they're here.
Oh, we are so glad they're here. And isn't it great that they're traveling on the Bankhead Highway?
That's right. We have a lot of history, of course, in Walker County with the Bankheads. And, of course, the Bankhead Highway is near and dear to all of us. All of these folks have been invited to come out to the Bankhead House and Heritage Center here in Jasper to be able to see some of the history of the Bankhead family, of course. But one of the things that they talked about was they were so appreciative of our law enforcement that helped them get here, all of the Jasper police and the sheriffs and all of the folks from Jefferson County that had helped them get here. So it's been a team effort across the board. We see our own Dr. Underwood and Miss Underwood are feeding them with Dreamland Barbecue. And so they're getting something good to eat. It's a fun time had by all. So we're excited to be here. It's a good thing.
Oh, thank you, Senator Reed. Thanks for talking to us and letting people know just what happens here tonight.
Well, it's a privilege. Thanks for saying hello always. You all take care.
Thank you.